Yeah, just save that one part.
There we go.
You don't have to save the whole line.
Oh,
Just
cool,
the
my
one.
ears.
It's right there.
Okay,
This
fine.
would be easy. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. And we're back.
Hello.
Oh, wait, shit. What were we gonna say? We're talking about
Yeah, what were we going to talk about?
Oh,
you
talk
wanted to
about
talk.
you,
You wanted to talk about.
Pays-
You wanted to talk about new.
Okay,
No,
come-
don't say her name. Don't say her name.
Okay, we're gonna start right.
Yeah, we were going to talk about chopsticks,
And we're back.
and we're back. You wanted to talk
Talking
about.
about the certain woman.
You wanted to talk about New Year's when we picked up that drunk woman,
Yeah, we're gonna start off with New Year's.
and by we I mean me, and you were in the passenger seat.
Yes, and we picked up woman in the back.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we're
I
driving-
wasn't going to pick her up at first, and you were all like,
She's
Big-
a woman.
"Yeah." Taylor gets really excited when he sees anyone of the opposite gender. Anyone.
So Gage pulled over.
I did
Picked her
pull.
up.
Well, should we?
Nope.
Should we get? No, hold on. No, I'm with you about telling the story. No, I was going to ask if we should give like a little preface, like just what exactly. We weren't just driving around. It was on New Year's. We went and hung
It was
out on
New
New
Year's.
Year's,
We went out to get milkshakes. The place we went to was closing.
and it blew anyway.
Blue. So we went to a different one.
Guys, they're looking at me.
They were looking at all of us. Just me and Gage. All of us.
And by looking at us, I mean they weren't looking at
They
us.
didn't pay us any attention. And
Taylor looked into. I told him to check and see if it was actually closed, and he looked in there with his periscope.
I saw
And-
them all their eyes. So we went elsewhere. We got our shakes, and then when we were coming home, we saw her on the side of the street. Picked her up.
Taylor saw her right before I did. I saw her like just a second
It
or
was
two
almost
after
the
Taylor.
same. Yeah, picked her up. Went down the street because she lived on the same street that we were on, and right behind a Hattie We pulled over, talked for 45. No,
Yeah.
an hour.
An hour and a half at least.
Or an hour and a half. Got her number.
At least, right? Give or take. It was
She was into Gage,
for some reason.
and then she stopped texting,
Yeah.
and we're over it.
Well, no, yeah, she was into me. She specifically texted. Remember, she texted you, and I was driving.
your
Yeah. And that's why we're not talking anymore.
Yes.
No, it was
You chose to say
No, what happened?
no wishes.
She. Bye bye.
You're getting no texts.
Wait, come back.
Hey, no,
No.
I'm not done.
So, fucking stupid. How did we come up with that? Just rubbed a hat, right?
Yeah, you
It
were
was
rubbing a hat that
I
was
was
all floppy.
I was following you around work, and there was a hat on the ground, and I picked it up, and for some reason we talked about rubbing it. I think you mentioned rubbing it, and a genie coming out, and and then I just
no wishes.
for some reason I just said you'll get no wishes.
And it worked.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
What the fuck was the point?
It was polite. Said
I
bye.
guess kind of. It was a little passive.
Well, a little passive aggressive.
This is my weekend gig.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it was? And like
Yeah,
throughout the
I
week,
just do this for fun.
throughout the week, he grants one wish, but it's fucking terrible.
But we didn't get that terrible wish, so.
Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Taylor got a text from her. He got her number first. Okay, so
No.
he got her number first, and then he texted her number to me because she really wanted me to get her number as well, which I guess that was a sign. Gage, I felt your vibration.
Twice.
But Taylor got a text from her, said, "Hey, thanks for saving me." And oh yeah, that's why
why
you
I
said.
said-
I got it now. All right, I'm catching
Oh,
up.
I should have said that. Man,
But yeah, thanks for saving me, and well,
Should I just-
probably would have elicited the same response.
probably. I should just keep sending her superhero texts. Just randomly. Just like wait a month and then send.
Avengers assemble.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Or eventually gets to the point where you're just like
All
you
the
take
slogans.
one random line from a superhero movie within the past 12 years, but you can't even. It's
Songs.
it's
TV
one
shows.
It's one so generic, like
Right.
you can't even say. It's so obscure.
You couldn't even trace it. But I want us. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna do
It's
that
like
until she blocks my number.
I'm gonna go to the store. Is this?
Uncle Ben.
No, that's two on the nose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's only been like one person
What
in
about like just
anything
when he
ever
says
named
like
Uncle
move
Ben.
out of the way and just be like thanks when he like gets out when he lets the robber
Move out of
go.
the way.
Okay, he says something like that. Just like random.
No.
I'll say, stop him.
It's from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Almost Uncle Ben. Just say, that's my uncle. Send her that one.
Like, what? It could be anyone's uncle.
Say paramedics are on their way.
That's hilarious. We're gonna do that.
Anyways,
maybe next podcast. Maybe we should just do it every podcast.
Send her a text.
Just send her a text.
Anyway,
next
so
one, we'll do that. But
so
yes,
I got her number then, and Taylor texted her being like, "Oh, it's me," and then I texted her being like, "I am
You're
I."
welcome.
And so she had both our
You
numbers.
said I am yours. What?
No, we both texted her like
that
Taylor
kid.
and Gage, let her know who was who.
Right.
And then she texted you, saying like, "Thanks for saving me." And I was driving, and my phone was plugged into the auxiliary cords and the auxiliary cord, and the radio was turned off, so no sound was coming through.
Right.
So I couldn't hear my phone notification. So I was like, "Oh, she texted you and not me." The bullshit. I didn't really care. I was just joking around. I didn't really care. I was just joking around. And then I like checked my phone while we were at a stop sign. I was like, "Oh, she did text me, twice." No, she texted me once, and then we got to your house. We pulled up here up front. We talked a little bit, and then it's like, the first text was, "Thanks for picking me up," and the second text, 10 minutes later, was like, "I like you."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh,
A sign.
it was a sign." Yeah.
What should we
'cause
do?
She didn't say anything else to you.
Don't look at the phone.
It was just me. She didn't say.
What if it's like the Indiana Jones and the
Marion, keep your eyes closed.
Yeah. Ah, don't look at it.
Marion, don't look.
That was
Can I buy you a drink?
when it's all over?
But
So yeah. So that was
that's
our
basically.
New Year's.
And then she just nothing ever happened. I tried to get a date with her, and she was like yes, but no. She was like yes, but
yeah, maybe.
she was like maybe, but I really mean yes, but I'm gonna say maybe. And I was just like, okay, well, if you're not gonna say yes, just forget it then.
Right. So that happened.
It's been like over a week at this point, and
It's
like-
almost, oh yeah.
yeah, it's been over a week because it was Wednesday, so it's Friday now, so it's been over a week, and I was like, okay, well, never mind then. Fuck it.
So that was
I'm not gonna spend like
all your money.
the better part of however long it's gonna be just trying to be like, you wanna go on a date?
Yeah. You want to go on a date with me?
You wanna come over to my mom's house? Mom, this is my girlfriend. She's older than you.
Yeah, she's older and wiser than you. Like I go, oh, you want to go on a date?
You wanna go over to my house?
when you
Mom's
go-
making SpongeBob macaroni.
Yeah. SpongeBob specifically is my favorite.
We're having my favorite tonight, tater tots.
That's a 10-year-old. They're having my favorite. With a side
Pushes his glasses up.
with a side of mac and cheese. They're having my favorite.
I hope she got more ketchup.
I'll eat carrots for her, but I don't really like them.
Hold on, let me take a drink before you
Sorry.
speak again. I like carrots for, but I don't really
This
like them.
podcast is sponsored by Enrique Iglesias.
Who? Enrique Iglesias? When was the last time? When was the last time you heard about him?
Early 2000.
For me, it was like
12 or 10.
I think it's about the same time for me. I think it was about 2012 is one of the last time I heard about him.
Then you just kind of chilled.
That was the first and last time I heard about him.
But you were gonna start singing. I can be your hero or something.
I didn't even know it was Enrique Iglesias who sung that
Oh,
song
man.
until like then, and then I never.
We're gonna teach you
But yeah,
all the Enrique things.
I'm not looking forward to that. Anyway, so
He will.
so that was so that was our
Year's
experience.
2020.
That was our experience, or that was how we started 20. That was how we started 2020. I was gonna say that was our experience, but I suppose it would be more of our lack of experience with a drunk woman that we picked up off the street.
I mean, still experience though, right?
Yeah.
Even if we got nothing.
It was just a joke. I was just making a joke. But anyway,
Oh, God.
so
You gotta give me a wink or something. You can't just look at me. And scene.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
Oink.
Oink.
Yeah.
Oink.
Oink. Mork and Mindy, right? That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, is that what you're thinking
Did he
of?
do something like that?
What?
Oink, 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 oink. No.
Whenever towards the beginning of the show, Mindy would make a joke and he'd be like, "Oh, humor." That'd be him like doing a laugh. He'd go,
That show. We need to watch that show.
I have all 4 seasons on DVD. I own the box set.
Okay, we'll start with that.
I got it for Christmas like a few years back. I fucking love it. It's a great show.
Now?
I want to get the Frasier box set now because NBC took it off everything. I told you
Those
about
are
that,
8
right?
or 9 seasons.
11.
Oh, okay.
It was from about 1992 to about 92, 93 to 2003.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna
It's a fucking great show.
have to get those too.
Oh, what we're gonna watch every episode of Mork and Mindy and then talk about that.
Yes.
Every episode of the podcast is another episode of Mork and Mindy. Just analyzing them.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it only had 4 seasons. It kind of went off the rails a little bit after the first season because the studio started to step in. We're like, we want this and this and this.
Buzzkill.
Yeah, a little
How
bit.
many episodes are in each one?
It's hard to say. Some of them they vary a little
Okay.
bit. Anyway,
Well, that'll be fun.
yeah,
Stay
so
tuned for that.
that was our that was our experience with the drunk woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should say for the record, she wasn't like wasted. She was I guess
drunk.
yeah, functioning drunk. I guess
Yeah.
yeah, she was tipsy. I mean, she could walk.
Functional drunk.
She could walk. I mean,
Yeah, she could run too.
yeah, she could run. She could walk.
That doesn't sound good. She could run.
She could hop.
Why did you know that?
She could hop, skip, and leap.
We chased
Oh,
after her.
she could run.
Yeah,
too.
she could run too.
I love the thrill of the chase.
Let her get a little farther.
No, she ran towards my car. She ran towards my car.
on.
That's what it was.
First time.
It's a first time. What a rush.
Oh, what a woman.
What a woman.
Oh, she's a woman.
Okay, so what now?
So that was it.
The hell do we talk about?
We might have to chop it up. Dead air.
It's-
Dead air.
You see, this is why I said we should watch a movie or something.
no,
You're like, no. We'll
yo,
talk
fuddy-duddy.
about her and stretch it out for like an hour.
Exactly.
All right, that was episode 2. Everyone, thanks
Yeah.
for listening. You cut it here.
What is it? Oh, 12 minutes? That's cool. That's cool.
It's 12. It was 12 minutes.
Yeah. That was
Wow.
fast.
I thought it was like 3 minutes.
That's the magic of
Leave it to you and I to drag out such a short story to 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of this film. Okay, I think. I got nothing.
Do you want to talk more about Star Wars 9? We didn't really get to talk about
Sure.
that. Do you really? We didn't really get to talk about that last episode.
Yeah, no, bring it on.
We just told that I just told my dumbass story, and I talked the whole time.
Dumbass story.
I told my boring story like for an hour, and then you were like, "Yeah, Star Wars 9 was okay," and then we like cut the episode.
Star Wars 9 with. Okay. I did.
We can talk about another movie
Yeah,
if you want
go
to.
ahead.
I only brought it up because like I felt like
You have more.
our analysis
I could feel
our
it in you.
analysis last time. Well, not really. Our analysis last time. Well, everything
Screw it
I've,
out.
I've already said everything to you.
Screw
Everything
it.
I've just said. Well, what we did last
Exactly.
time. Well, what we did.
more?
Ah! I wanted to see.
My God.
I was trying to make Taylor jump when he took a drink. Anyway, so
It didn't work this time.
surprised you. I should have asked you if it was spicy.
That's it.
Anyway, so yeah. Well, the reason I brought it up again because I felt like our little review of it last time was kind
Wasn't long enough,
was just a little disjointed and didn't.
Depth. Okay.
It was a little disjointed, and I feel like
We could do a better job.
like we don't have to. I just suggested it because we have nothing to talk about, and also because last time it kind of. I feel like it almost seemed like we watched 25 minutes of the film and then just like kind of left. I was like,
I
well,
wish,
this was
but-
stupid. And it sounded like last time it was like, yeah, Star Wars 9 was stupid. And that's it.
And that's all you got. Okay. Well, if you have more,
Well, because I didn't want to talk about it as a,
do it.
I didn't want to talk about it as a Star Wars movie. I want to talk about it as a movie itself, like
Alright,
as
so
how
the
it
movie
stands
itself,
as a film.
not
So
even
not even like
including anything
acknowledging the Star Wars stuff. Like forget about. I feel like that's how people need to look at. People don't do that as much now. I feel like they don't. They just kind of look like
At the whole thing. Instead
yeah.
of just the
They don't
movie.
look at the movie. They look at just like oh, it's a Marvel film, so it's awesome, or it's like it's a Star Wars film, so like of course this and this. Like okay,
Right.
I guess you could argue because of the Star Wars canon or whatever. How does number 9 and number 8 and number 7? I say number 9 and number 8 specifically because those are the ones that have gotten people riled up the most.
Right.
Last Jedi definitely did. And the reason I bring this up is like just forget the Star Wars part. How does it stand as a movie? Like is it You know,
I think it's hard because it's tied to all these other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially this one because Marvel's. Yeah, it's the same story. So yeah, they're all.
Well,
it's the same
I just
story.
said Marvel as an example. That was just
No, I
like
know.
bringing up that
I
thing.
was just telling you you're right with the story.
Obviously, I'm telling you you're right.
It's a bigger story, and they get it all kind of like, oh, it's a part of that, so that's maybe why they like it or not.
I mean, I like. Sorry, what was I gonna say? I mean, I like the original 3 a lot.
Right.
And they connect.
No,
they have an
original 3,
overarching story, but they're still great as individual films too.
Right.
I think I mentioned that to you that one time that you can watch. You could take Empire and just watch that, having not seen 4 and like don't watch 6 or something. You could still enjoy that as a movie. And I mean, it's good to see 4, so you get an introduction of everyone. But I mean, you can watch that.
All of them.
Yeah, you can watch it and be like, okay, this guy Han Solo. Okay, I see. He's like that. Leia's like that. Luke's like, yeah. They establish the characters well, even though it goes off.
First 3, second 3, still had characters.
And these last 3, yeah.
In the last 3, they lacked making actual characters, like we were saying.
Yeah,
like
they
Mary
did.
Sue and all that stuff.
Say what you want about the prequel films, they still work as movies.
Yeah.
I think the prequel films. Well, hold on.
What's the big?
The
This might be a dumb question, but what's the big
gripe with
about
the
them?
prequels? A lot of people hated Jar Jar. That's like he was a huge part of the first film. Yeah, I'm indifferent about him, and he could be in there. He couldn't. I don't really care. I never had that big of a problem with him. Well, the acting I know is a huge.
Yeah,
Hayden Christensen's acting in the second and third one
questionable and all that stuff.
I hate sand. That's the big meme.
It's everywhere. Okay. Well,
or you underestimate my power. No.
Right. Don't try it, Anakin. So yeah.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try it.
Don't try it.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
I will say, Ewan McGregor was fun to watch in those movies.
Yes, but he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
So maybe that helps.
Even with the shoddy material, he did a pretty good job.
So I get that.
Or at least he was enjoyable to watch. He was fun to watch. He was interesting.
That's not the case with the new 3.
Right.
What I was going
to say about the prequel films. Say what you want about them. There's plenty wrong with them, but I think still as movies, because I've seen like, I've seen like the IMDb score. I think for the Phantom Menace it's kind of in the middle. Like I think it's in a high 6.
Is it the better of those 3?
I think of the 3 prequel films, I think the Phantom Menace is like the best one, or at least that's the one that people are like, this is probably the best one out of the trio. Because I know like it's Attack of the Clones. That's like the worst one I hear. Mm-hmm. But I think Revenge of the Sith is still pretty bad too.
I was gonna say, like,
I think 2 and 3 are kind of there neck and neck. But even with how bad those are, I mean, like they're still competently made and they are written like.
I think it's following the story.
If you like disregard the acting, the characters are written at least coherently. Like they are characters.
Right.
With all the problems that they have with
that matchup.
All the problems that with are they make sense. Like at least they have traits, they have characters. But whereas this new trilogy, at least
it's almost too far away.
Yeah.
Like they have Leia in there and Luke and Han, but
that was one thing. That was one of my problems with Rise of Skywalker actually. It's just and Last Jedi. It's like can't just Leia's dead. Just Carrie Fisher's dead. Don't have her be played by a computer.
Right.
Don't have she's dead. Just have her. Why didn't she just die in The Last Jedi? Didn't she die during the filming of Last Jedi or something? And that's why
something like that, or
something
real close to it.
Just don't have her in the movie. I guess just write her off. Just say she died. Like to have the film start like and her death happens at the beginning or something. I don't know. Just you don't have to have her in it.
Right. I mean, yeah. Like the first one had like Luke and like all the main characters that we know. The new one had completely different characters.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to just been like separate instead of trying to like.
Yeah,
remember Luke.
That's what I was going to say.
Remember Han.
That's what I was going to say too. Yeah, it's like this new trilogy. Force Awakens is definitely the best one of the new trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still.
It had the most potential.
I can still enjoy that enough. I mean, of all the problems with Force Awakens, I still liked that one.
Right.
And I watched that and I left and I was like, I did like that.
Except for the end.
Yeah, except for the ending. But we can talk about that in a minute. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it panders too much to, I guess the fans. I guess. I guess.
I don't know which fans.
Yeah, but it's just like we get it. Luke was a part of this. Han was here too. Like, I get all that. We don't need Chewbacca or Han Solo or Luke or Leia or C-3PO or R2-D2. I mean, I guess you want to have the two droids in there. That's fine. I guess it'd make enough sense. But
R2 didn't do much.
no, he did practically nothing as far as I know.
I mean, he did like the map.
Yeah, that's the most he did. As far as I know, he's just in there going. Bleep, bleep, bleep. He's in there to be like, look, it's R2-D2.
Not even that. Yeah.
Yeah.
C-3PO had the most.
But in number 9, really, as far as I know.
Yeah.
In number 7, they were both seriously just there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why did just have this trilogy? I think that was a huge problem, is having shoehorning in Luke, Leia, and Han and what have you. Just have it be about this new character.
Fresh start.
Yeah, it takes place so long after the original trilogy. Just have it be about these new people.
Yeah.
Just say Luke, Leia, and Han died or aren't really a part of this.
Right.
Or at least they're not nearly as big as they are in it. Like, you can just be like, oh, it's Leia. Oh, it's Luke.
Oh, how you doing?
And then when Carrie Fisher died, you could be like, oh, Leia's dead too, instead of fucking spitting on Carrie Fisher's grave. Yeah, instead of like attaching strings to her corpse.
So yeah, the first 3, and then the next 3 had a storyline going, and this one was too much of a. We have the old, we have the new, trying to like mix it up. They didn't know what was going on. It's just like. From the beginning, I think it was all doomed to start,
Yeah.
But
that's the. What was I gonna say about 8 and 9 about it? Yeah, I want to look at 8 and 9. It's just how they stand up by themselves. Well, I haven't seen 8 yet. That was another problem I had with the last episode. Was I mentioned that, and I feel like I should have been more clear. I'm not going to talk about 8 a whole lot because I haven't seen it. I've seen like plenty of like videos about it where I've seen most of the big stuff in it, but I can't talk about it as a film because I haven't seen it. So that's for another time if I can ever be fucked to watch it. But 9, that one, like how it stands up as a film, not as a Star Wars film, not a Star Wars movie or whatever, but as it by itself, how it stands up, it sucks. I think. What do you think?
I mean,
as a movie,
story wise, yeah, like visually, they overcompensated.
Yeah.
So like it looks cool. But if you're trying to follow it, it's just jumping here and there.
So desensitized. It's like with the Marvel films almost. I was just so desensitized to it at this point.
Well, yeah.
There's no wow factor to it because you expect it because it's always there.
Exactly.
That's why the Marvel films, I don't care about the effects as much, like or if at all, because like.
Well, everything looks good.
It's
so
like,
what else do you got?
Yeah, it's like all Marvel films, like you just expect that now. It's like,
right. So yeah,
because they're none of them are on real sets anymore.
No. So ever. Yeah, when I was watching that, I'm like, oh, it looks great. So now I'm trying to find out what's going on. And it just was all over the place, and it felt like they didn't know what was going on, which from what I've read and heard seems like that's the case.
Yeah, like I said, like I told you when I first saw it, Rise of Skywalker was like a 2.5 hour rave almost. Like the laser light show and shit.
Palpatine, DJ Palpatine.
The writing, like you said, it wasn't very good. Just having Palpatine Palpatine shoehorned in. He's been dead since the 6th movie. Which I know, of course. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Correct.
Totally. Sure.
That is correct.
Fine. But
who is dead since the 6th movie?
But anyway, if you're talking about in order of like how I know we said we weren't going to talk too much about how it is a Star Wars thing, but I mean Palpatine is a character in the film. He's supposed to be dead,
right?
And especially if it's supposed to take place as later on if number 9, if this trilogy is supposed to take place as later on as it does, then Palpatine's been dead for a fucking long time.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah,
like
how did he say he survived, or why was he alive again? Didn't he Didn't he just like evil?
Pretty sure they didn't.
Didn't he just evil himself back into existence or something?
Something with the Force keeping him barely alive, and they hooked him up to that. This whole
doesn't make any sense.
Planet area is like, I don't know. It was weird to have it like so. What's the word I'm looking for? Ruined with like, I don't know, like rocks and marble kind of area, and then this weird like, I don't know. Never mind. Okay, there's like a scientist kind of spot with like tubes and shit.
Yeah.
In the middle of like nothing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know exactly
right?
what you're saying. Yeah.
So he's just on this ridiculous big crane that's moving him around.
There's this video I need to show you. Sorry, there's this video I need to show you by a guy. He's an animator, makes little cartoons, and I can't remember what it's called, but it basically makes fun of the fact that Palpatine is still alive. because Palpatine still being alive isn't explained at all. So it's like this little animation of him getting thrown out of the Death Star in the 6th one. And then he just kind of like lands on the planet, and Yoda's there as a ghost, and he's like, finally dead. And then Palpatine's like, oh, hey, Yoda. And he's like, what? You're supposed to be dead. And he's like,
not dead yet?
And he's like, death is just a concept invented by the Jedi.
Oh, God.
And he just keeps him, he just like uses the Force to heal himself for over 25 years.
Right.
And then,
I mean, that's as good of an explanation that we would have,
got, because there's just no way to write him back in after he's been.
There shouldn't have.
After he shouldn't have been. Yeah, after he has been. It has been established for the past
It
like
worked.
30, 40 years at this
Right.
point.
Well, at this point, yeah, he died. They did it.
He was thrown. He's
Down
not gonna be fucking alive. It doesn't make sense.
You know what?
This
no matter how much force
this
he has.
crumbly peanut butter
old man.
This
with a
crumbly
butt-ass
peanut
ass cheek for his forehead.
butter brittle boned man. This brittle boned old man being thrown down the giant shaft of the
down the
shitter. Basically down a giant toilet.
Shitter.
Down like the shaft or the whatever of the tubes of the Death Star being thrown down. It was in the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
It being thrown down the thing of the Death Star and then falling either into space or on a planet. There's no fucking way he's alive. I don't care what anyone says about the Force. That was one of the first. When I talked about the healing thing, which apparently has been established, I guess maybe in the books or whatever.
I think so. I was gonna say, but they did it one other time in one of the cartoons or maybe the books.
In terms of the film, in terms of that being in the movie, that felt extremely shoehorned in.
Well,
I don't like
a lot of stuff felt like it was just.
I don't care for the Force. I know I was talking about it standing as a film, but I just mean this is a quick thing about the Star Wars universe as a whole. I don't care for the Force being used as like a retcon to be like the Force, so he can do that and that and that. It's like there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a rule somewhere,
or at least talk about it.
Yeah,
they didn't mention.
Have some have some tangible explanation. Even you can't if there's going to be a talk about it or like an explanation, it has to be more than just the Force.
Right. There's no training. There's no explanation. It's just you just.
Yeah, Rey was just like, okay, I'm going to touch this wiener snake and make the cut go away. It's like. As far as we know, she's never done that before.
Right.
Okay, I don't like that. I don't care for this whole thing where it's like she's the most powerful Force. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. How come she doesn't have to train at all? There hasn't been any training or anything.
See it.
She was able to use a lightsaber, no problem.
That's the problem.
That's the thing is
she fights Kylo Ren
easily.
And
Finn got his ass kicked, and he's had no training,
which makes sense.
Yeah. She kicked Kylo Ren's ass, has had no training.
Right.
And
then she doesn't do it necessarily in the one that you didn't see, the Jedi Last Jedi, but she still doesn't lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, it's only like the second, third time that she's wielded the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And she's fighting against the guys in red.
We're supposed to be like I would imagine
pretty good
based on where they're at. They're supposed to be at least pretty good. I imagine I imagine you get that job by commission.
Right.
That's
or you're dead.
I don't imagine
there's no retirement.
I don't imagine you become the supreme Sith Sith Lord's bodyguard by just being like, hey, I'm here for my interview.
I just do this on the weekends.
I imagine. I don't think that's a weekend gig. I don't think you can just think you can just scroll through Indeed and find that job for like $10 an hour. I think that's like you have to be a badass to have
stay
that
alive.
job.
So that's why it's like okay.
So it's like when.
So he's not a threat. Kylo Ren could have been this, Darth Vader of this.
Darth Vader was fucking insane.
He
as
never
a villain.
lost until coming up.
Until Luke finally came around.
Luke got his ass kicked the first time.
Yeah.
Consequences.
Got his hand cut off.
Yoda said, "You're not ready." He said, "I gotta help my friends." Bitch got cut.
And then he had to go.
He goes back and trains.
Return of the Jedi. It is. You don't have to see it, and this is a big thing about. This is a big. This goes back to the film thing I was talking about in writing. We can see that Luke is trained. The way he comes, how he comes back, and how he.
We do see a little bit of him.
Yeah, we see a little bit
doing all that different stuff.
Yeah,
like it keeps flashing back between. Oh no, like they're in trouble. He's training. Training.
Well, in Empire, it does. I'm talking about in Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
When he comes back in Return of the Jedi, because remember he lost at the end of Empire, so he had to go train with Yoda again.
Right. When he comes back,
when he comes back in Return of the Jedi, you can see
Jabba the Hutt's
Yeah.
When he has, yeah.
You can see he's better.
Well, physically,
Yeah,
he's wearing new stuff.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You can see he's. That's what I mean. That's why I said the writing. You can. See, we're not told what he does. We see what he's done or what he can do. It doesn't tell us about anything. It doesn't tell us how great he is. It shows us how good he is. How much he's grown.
For word, but I think it's implied some of the ways that he's talking to them after they reunite.
Yeah.
He's mentioned something about Yoda. You can tell.
Yeah.
That he's not the farm boy.
No.
You know.
He's a Jedi now.
And that could have been Rey. But she's just kind of like this. She just
She's
put new clothes on her, and she's
amazing from the start, basically.
You know.
I can get at The Force Awakens. I was okay with her at the start because, like, her skills on the desert planet or whatever, where she was a scavenger and she could fight with that little staff stick or whatever.
She's been probably doing for years.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah. I get that. I get her being good at that. I would expect her to be
against people who are not trained fighters.
Yeah, she has to survive on that planet. I get that. That's not training. I guess that is training through that's like personal training through
like repetition and
just
survival.
Yeah, on that planet. I get that. Well, how come she's? I just don't care for this fact that she's fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
In these movies, that's my problem. Is like I can't. That's why I've never cared about her. Is because there's no way to connect with her. I can't relate to her. I can't be like, oh, Rey's in trouble. No, she's not.
She's never in trouble.
She's never in any. I related more to Finn because when he fought,
or even Kylo.
Yeah, or even fucking Kylo.
He got his ass kicked. That's I was rooting for him. Like, he's the real underdog there. Gets his ass kicked, and then he comes back as Ben, and then he dies sacrificing himself.
Yeah. I liked the idea. When I first saw Force Awakens,
teach me how to draw.
Oh,
I saw
so easily. But
Force Awakens. Sorry.
In Force Awakens, when I liked the idea because when Finn picked up the lightsaber, I really liked the. I know I mentioned in the last episode the thing about the midichlorians or whatever from the prequels. That's not that as much now. It's just when he picked up the lightsaber. Personally, I loved the idea of him having been a stormtrooper, being with the First Order or the Empire, but same thing, new coat of paint.
Right.
Whatever you want to call them now, Nazis basically. When he was with them, and then he picks up that lightsaber. I love the idea of him being with them and then becoming like a Jedi or Padawan or something. I liked that idea a lot. That growth of character, like that path that a character follows. That seemed like an interesting thing. Him going from that to this, changing sides completely, but being like a low life, or I guess a grunt pawn on this side. But then he joins the light side. He becomes like a Jedi Master or a knight, whatever. You know?
But he was just turned into a slapstick with Poe.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't
just
have said that.
Make us laugh.
Couldn't have said that better myself. Yeah, he was turned into the comic relief, Jar Jar basically. And Jar Jar was played by a black.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar was played by a black guy. So oh my god, it's full circle. And I thought John Boyega did a great job as Finn in that first movie too.
The first movie was great potential of everyone.
The first movie, again, sorry Daisy Ridley who plays Rey. I just don't care about Rey. I cared so much more about Finn. It didn't take long for me to be like, okay, I don't give a shit about Rey because they ruin her almost immediately.
Right.
She seems interesting at first, and then she gets going, and it's like, okay. As soon as I get in the Millennium Falcon, it's kind of over.
Well, when she's like really good at everything.
It's like you've never even
off of her planet.
Yeah,
that's right. You've never been this ship before.
Yeah, remember she said it was junk. She said it was garbage or something like that.
Right.
She said that ship's junk, and then they had to go get in it, and it was this big like reveal, like the Millennium Falcon. I was like, okay, I hope they don't go too much farther than that. Chewie, we're home. Oh god. It's like, oh, Harrison, I'm so sorry you had to be here. Pretty sure he hates like doing stuff. Like he doesn't want to. Huh? What did you say?
He hurt his foot on filming too.
He did.
Fuck this movie.
I know he
thought it was over.
I know he hates doing Star Wars. I'm not going to judge him for doing it.
No, it's fine.
The man's career, but I mean, I just feel sorry for him. But like, I sympathize because him being on a set that he doesn't want to fucking be on, that he hates.
Well, he just came out with a movie about him and a dog or something. That
yeah,
was pretty cheesy. So I think he's okay.
Yeah. He's fine. I doubt he needs the money. It's probably just the work more than anything else.
Maybe. I don't know, maybe it's for his granddaughter or something.
Who the fuck knows?
That movie looked bad, but...
I was talking about Star Wars.
Oh, so was I.
That movie looked bad. Which one? 7, 8, or 9?
All of them.
I didn't even see the trailer for 9. It just like a snapshot for the headline of an article. I was already like, this is gonna suck. And I was right.
They showed the one, which is so funny. Watching it now, the trailer I saw, she's in the desert. It's Kylo Ren coming at her, and it's supposed to look all cool. And she's running, and then she jumps at the last minute and goes, and then it cuts. And so when I was watching it, they cut so much out of there because it goes from her where she knows it's him, her, and it gets closer, and then like there's no mystery. But in the trailer, it was supposed to be like, who is it?
But why the hell does she jump in the trailer?
Well, she does in the movie, but she's looking.
Oh, she jumped in the movie. I don't remember that. Why did she jump in the movie?
To do a cool effect. So he's coming in his, I don't know what, TIE fighter or something. The black one.
No, I remember the scene now. Yeah, she jumps up. She does like a flip and she cuts
and
it.
Puts it down so she gets one of the wings.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it goes, and he walks out like nothing happened, dude.
Yeah, because he's projecting himself or whatever.
Was he?
Isn't that what it was?
I thought he was really there.
Yeah, he actually was there, wasn't he? See, that's another thing that confused me. Was this fucking thing
you
where
never
they can
know what's real, what's
it's
not.
like it's like that's something they can do that too. Like what? I guess showing up in her head and talking to her, kind of like the ghost thing. I can get that, like how Luke did. But them being able to fight, when he's just in her mind, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, they waited till the end to try to explain it, and that's what was the problem of them being this two of one half and the special bond. It's like you waited because you want that to be why.
Well, even then, that wouldn't have been a very good explanation, in my opinion.
Well, that's what it was, and it wasn't a good explanation.
No,
it wasn't. The timing was even worse, I think, to me, just because.
I know it was the explanation. I do remember that. Yeah, I'm saying
to subvert at the end.
Yeah,
Palpatine's still alive. They can do this thing. That's why they can do it. Like it's just so much. I
remember them explaining that. How you said like they explained it too late. I'm saying there's no good time when they could have explained that. There's no time where they could have explained it where it would have worked. It just doesn't work. I'm just
going off of what they told us. The explanation was like okay. Like there's no way to know until the end of But I don't know. Well, apparently people didn't like that either.
I have to.
We have an update. Oh God!
I just read something that makes me really sad that I don't want to believe.
Oh no!
Neil Peart of Rush just died at 67.
Damn!
And I'll never get to meet the man. Oh my God! I cannot. Like I'm not even like. It's hard to say I'm even sad because I don't want to believe it.
Right? Yeah.
It's just
67.
67. Oh my God! It just popped up on my phone on the Google News or whatever. I cannot believe that.
News alert.
CBC has confirmed with Rush's publicist that Peart died in Santa Monica this past Tuesday. Oh, on Tuesday. Okay. So it's just now informing. Okay.
Right. It's been a couple
this past Tuesday on the 7th due to complications from brain cancer. I didn't even know. I never even heard he had brain cancer. I mean, it's not really it's not really any of my business anyway.
Right,
but
just in general, he probably didn't want anyone to know.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's kind of close to his chest about that sort of thing, unless he actually tells people about it. I mean, like he wrote books about his life experiences. So I mean, if he wanted people to know about it, he would have told them so.
That's true. Probably
yes, none of our business anyway. In a statement on Facebook, Peart's bandmates write, "It is with broken hearts and the deepest sadness that we must share the terrible news that on Tuesday, our friend, soul brother, and bandmate of over 45 years." If Getty and Alex actually said that, it's real then. Jesus. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that makes me really sad. Like, I can't even properly react to it because it just like that. I just looked down at my phone because I was like, I wanted to check the time, and then I saw that message. I was like, what's that? And it said Neil Peart. I was like, ooh. Neil Peart, I mean. It said, keep trying to say his name right.
Hello.
It said Neil Peart. And I was like, hey. And then it said drummer of Rush. And I was like, where's this going? It said died at 67. And I was like,
I don't like that. Oh, no.
That's really sad.
Just like the end of Star Wars.
That was fucking...
I was looking like, is that too soon? But
no, it was great.
Okay.
So what the hell are we talking about? Oh yeah, so it's just fucking. What I was saying is I just cared more about Finn than I did Rey.
You cared about other characters.
I didn't
that was not the main.
I like Oscar Isaac, but I didn't care. I've never really cared about Poe.
Well, again, he was just there for a laugh.
Well,
you know.
No, he was supposed to be dead at first, and then he wasn't.
When?
Remember, he died at the beginning of Force Awakens, but then they wrote him back in in the script. I remember Aiden.
Didn't he come back at the end though?
Towards the end,
When he
yeah.
was like,
No, towards the end.
The first one.
I think like towards
he's
the
like,
end of
"Oh,
the second act.
Keep that jacket.
Towards the end of the second act, I think, is when he came back. Because remember, Finn was on the ground fighting with the lightsaber, and the
Is that
Poe
when,
flies
that's
over,
when they crashed.
and he blows up some shit, and then Finn's like, "That's one hell of a pilot." Remember that?
Right, yes.
I've only seen the movie like once, but
It's been a while for me.
but that's
it sounds
basically yeah.
familiar.
He's like, "That's one hell of a pilot." Woo! That's one hell of a pilot. It's something like that. Yeah. So I remember Aiden described it. He said, "Oh, Poe, you're alive. How'd you get out? Yeah, don't worry about that."
Yeah.
Or something like that,
Don't
basically.
worry.
So it's because remember he was supposed to have been in that ship. I think it exploded and then sank into the ground, or it was basically something overkill like that, and he's
Right.
still alive. So it's like, what the hell?
It's just like with the Chewbacca.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like,
When
there
did
were
they
two.
get the other ship.
There were two ships. No, there fucking wasn't. There were not two ships. Don't bullshit me. There weren't two ships. There was one until you decided, no, let's not kill Chewbacca.
Which is the same thing again, like because that makes.
I'll get that later. Let it go to voicemail.
I'm just tired of them writing that stuff because we
Fake
never,
tension.
We never, yeah, to be like Chewbacca, they wouldn't kill him. Of course, they didn't kill him. You know.
Oh yeah, I had a feeling when they said he was dead. I wanted to believe he was.
Well, I'm like,
honestly,
did they really?
Honestly, I wanted Chewbacca to be dead. I was like, good, good,
in a nice way, because you're like,
in a nice way.
you
It's
gotta
like,
let him go.
It's almost. I almost saw it like in a positive way, or this is what the positive way would be. Is like, oh wow, we're moving on.
People can die. Yes,
That too. Yeah, stakes. People can die. Not in Star Wars. No.
Right.
Or at least not in the new
there's
trilogy.
No stakes. No. You know.
Because
Wow.
like
What if
he
they-
just they just retconned him back in. It was like there was because when he exploded, like what I was saying was I wanted him to be dead. So it's like yeah, there are stakes in the film. Like people can die. There's something to worry about. That's tension. That's suspense. But then I was like, no, he's not fucking dead. Because look at who produced this film. Look at the company that's producing these movies. He's not dead.
They're not gonna kill him.
And so when it's like, oh, we have a prisoner from the one ship exploded. We have a prisoner from the other ship, and I heard other ship, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then the door opens up, and it's Chewbacca, and I was like, of course.
Well, as soon as they said that, you're like, oh, he's okay. He's alive.
Yeah. No, I was a little bit earlier. As soon as Rey screamed Chewbacca when the ship exploded, I
Well,
was
that
like,
too, I was like-
yeah, Chewbacca's alive.
I'm like, I don't know if he's dead. We gotta wait till there's a body.
Of course, her like pulling the ship back down too. Like, I guess I can believe that, but it's like without the training. And now people will argue that but they do show her training. No, we see her doing stuff that comes as a result of training. When she's when she's first introduced at number 9, and she's like floating in the air in that little like, she's like crisscross applesauce floating above the ground. She's got the rocks going around her. Yeah, the
but
beginning
that
of
was
9.
like not even.
That's
that
not training. That's her. That implies she's been trained. That she's been through stuff that we haven't seen.
It's too late.
It's no. That's
She's just kind of like stretching, you know, like
yeah.
she's already
And then
has the.
we see
knowledge.
her. This was okay. So when she goes to train with that little droid or whatever,
Keep talking,
she was
I'm gonna turn the light on.
okay. Yeah, I was actually gonna say, do you want to turn the light on?
My eyes.
Why does it burn? But so yeah, I know.
On.
So I noticed. Yeah, I loved this about this was a great error. So when she runs to go train with that droid, right? She jumps down from doing the rock shit. She's like, "Please be with me, be with me." They're not with me. She's talking about her parents or whatever. She runs off to go train with that droid, and she has her lightsaber out, but she hasn't activated it yet. She doesn't go when taking it out. She just has the
What's the thing on?
No, she hasn't done it yet.
No.
She's holding the lightsaber. She hasn't the blade part's not out, but she's got the hilt, I guess. She's got the little handle. Yeah.
Out.
So she starts. She's got the light, but not the saber. So
You need a light?
imagine lighting a cigarette with a lightsaber. That'd be insane.
Don't move.
You got a light? I do. And you hold it right under him. That's a big lighter. Holy shit!
Like this. Oh!
The cigarette disintegrates.
Yeah, you singed my cigarette.
It just like right up on their nose, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
That's hot.
Yeah, literally. I imagine it would be. Anyway, so she hasn't taken out this. So yeah, she has a little the handle, and she starts running, And then we get that shot of her running across the landscape. Like it's a far away, wide angle shot of her running. We see the the landscape behind her. She's running on this mountainside, and we see her, and she has the lightsaber out. Now the blade is out. It's been activated. She's running with it. We see her running with it. And it looks all cool and stuff. Then it goes back to her right when she goes to run onto that little bridge area to fight with the droid. Her lightsaber is no longer out.
No.
So it's like, what the hell was that?
Oh, I should save it.
You know what? It does look cool, but I should save it. Wouldn't it be great if lightsabers had battery life or something?
That would make it more interesting.
That would make it more.
It'd
be fucking stupid, but
oh shit.
Well, it wouldn't be stupid if you established it from the beginning, I guess. Well, it'd be stupid, but you'd get used to it.
Yeah, you just be like, you know what? That's part of it. They run out of power.
You know what? You know what? It's not even our universe. It's something entirely. This is supposed to happen a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So yeah, of course, maybe that's just how the technology worked along. Yeah. That's how the technology worked back then.
What you do is you set it in the beginning of the story, and then you follow it.
You establish it, you establish it. Do you hear me, Disney? You establish it in the beginning, and then you keep it going. You don't just throw shit on top and say this is how things are. You don't just say, oh yeah, her blood now flows with the water of life. She can just heal people and bring them back to life.
She's the fountain of youth.
She's actually the second coming of. She is the second, third, and every other coming of Christ. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
wrapped into one.
So she has, I just thought that was a hilarious continuity thing. She had the lightsaber out, and then we close up to her again. It's no longer out. It's like, why?
I'm sure we'll see some stuff online about that.
Maybe I don't care.
Just like with Star Wars or the Game of Thrones. I know it doesn't matter about all the little.
Oh, the little coffee cup thing.
But it's just another thing to be like, I'm already mad, and look what they did here, and they did this too. Just. They want to be more angry.
Well, the lightsaber thing goes with what I said about it standing alone as a film. That's like
if you're just watching, you're going, that's a mess up.
Yeah, that's a mess. But that's a mess. That to me feels like a genuine oversight. She doesn't have it out, then she has it out, then she doesn't have it out.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, it is because the lightsaber is almost you could almost say it's supposed to be the focal point of that shot. So it's like I don't get why if she took it out and then she started running. And then she had it the whole way? Yeah, fine. Or if she didn't have it out, then she had it out, and then she still had it out. Because I'm going scene by scene, three different shots here.
If it went out and stayed out?
Yeah, if it stayed, that's fine. If we see her running with it out, that was okay. And if she still has it out when she gets to that spot, that's fine. But it's why would you why would you take it out, but you haven't activated the saber part yet, and then you start running across this thing, and you take it out to run across the thing, and then when you get to where you're going, you put it back in. What's the point of that? It just looks it looks silly. That's the thing.
It is because
it's not something I can ignore and be like, oh, well, it's whatever. It's like no, it's the presentation. It's just someone wasn't paying attention. Someone was like, oh, this looks cool, but then they didn't think about
how it works with everything else.
Yeah, they just didn't think about whether or not it makes sense because it looks silly. That can understandably take you out of the film at least for a minute because you're like, why the hell did she take it out?
Oh, it's back on.
Why is it off but on then off again? What's the point? Why?
Right. So it's little stuff like that added to the whole mess. I'm just
yeah, and
someone not paying attention.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It standing alone as a film. Mistakes like that. Also, another thing about her going to this spot to train is this is the closest we get to her training is her. Going with this droid, but she accidentally destroys it or something, right?
No, I don't think. I think she tries to get it, but misses. But
she does something she does
a tree that goes on BB-8.
Yeah, that's what it was. Something? Yeah, but she blocks 3 shots, I think, and then hurts BB-8 by accident, and that's the end of her. That's the end of the training. That's all the training we'll see.
The first time we see her, and that's it.
It feels almost like it was in there just to be like, see, Rey trains. You get what I mean? It feels
she's training.
It feels like it's almost in there just to be like, haha, see, you guys say she doesn't train, but she does. It's like, no, that's just, no. Sorry, no, that's not.
Say she loses,
too little, too late, is what that is.
Everything was too late.
Oh yeah, that was too little, too late. The entire film was too late.
Yeah. We'll give you all the answers. Too late. When you couldn't even find the things.
Yeah.
Until I guess I can't remember, but I think Palpatine laughed, or something at the end of Last Jedi. But up until then, it was just what? There's no way to find out. And I don't know. I didn't want him to be alive.
They built up Snoke.
I wanted a new bad guy.
They built up Snoke in 7, and then they just like killed him. Like so, it was such an anticlimactic
and
thing
it
in
sucked
8.
to be like, oh, he was just a puppet. It's like,
Why?
you took everything away.
Why? Just make him just. Why can't we just have a fucking new villain?
Yeah.
Or just kill Snoke and have Kylo Ren. That would have been
the new
fine.
villain.
I get it, but I'm not with Kylo Ren suddenly being good, just because Rey kissed his boo boo and made it better.
And then he talked to his dad, and
He talked to his dad who's dead.
right.
Yeah. He talked to himself.
Yeah,
That's what he fucking did.
essentially.
Oh no, it's the Force. No.
Is
no.
that when his scar went away?
Yeah.
When you talked to Harrison?
Yeah. She healed him, and she healed a scar too, apparently, because that's how that works.
Okay, because I wasn't sure why Leia died, or she got sick all of a sudden.
I think Leia died just because they died at the same time. I think, didn't they? Like he faded away, and then she faded away, and you saw like the blanket fall. Wasn't that what it was? Didn't that happen?
Not sure.
God, I really
thought
did.
she did something for him.
She died. I remember that, but like
She laid down, and she didn't go away until
around the time that he did, right? They went away at relatively the same time.
Where was that at though? Where was he? Were they fighting Palpatine?
Yeah, they were fighting Palpatine. Remember, he got just pushed
Right
into the pit, and then he climbs back out just to die.
Okay.
We thought he died, and he had a fake out just so he could die.
Just to give her.
Just so he could die on
his
screen.
life again. Yeah, so he could die again on. We could see him.
Yeah, it's like, well, then just have him die once. Either have him die uneventfully or eventfully, not both.
Yeah.
Don't pretend that he's dead and then him come back just to die. That's stupid. Just pointless. And then there was the whole thing with bringing him back to life so that he could die.
Right.
He died so that he could come up, die, be brought back to life, and die again. The man died like 3 times. What's the point?
He can't die until he dies.
She brought him back to life just so they could kiss and have like a fan moment. Because
Right.
people in my theater actually clapped for that. And I was like, are you kidding? Okay. I just don't love it enough. I just don't like it. Felt forced. It was stupid.
It wasn't. I don't know.
I didn't get any chemistry between the two either. At least I didn't feel anything.
They were
between
trying
the
to
two
kill
of them.
each other, and then we're cool.
They're trying to kill each other, and then they were trying to kill each other. Then they were like brother and sister, but they weren't, and they kissed. But they were still kind of. It didn't make any sense. Were they brother and sister? Or were they cousins? Were they related in any way? I didn't get that. I didn't understand what was going on. Like she was a Palpatine, and he wasn't, but he was.
He was a Skywalker kind of, but he's technically a Solo. But
who fucking knows?
See,
like, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I didn't understand who the hell who was. I didn't. And it wasn't because I wasn't paying attention. I was paying full attention. I was trying to the whole way through. And I was like, what the who's who here? Is she a Palpatine or not? Is she Palpatine or is she Skywalker? Is he Solo or Skywalker or Palpatine? Is he all 3?
But then you find that or you find those answers, and then you have even more questions. Okay, well
yeah. And the biggest question of all,
and then
when the fuck did Palpatine have a kid?
Well, yeah,
that was the one you asked, and it's like when
like there was just no.
When did he find the time of all the shit he was doing in the original trilogy? When would he have bothered to have a kid?
And there's no way to find that out because they didn't tell you until the end, and it's not satisfying.
It's like you have to think about it like how old Rey is. Then how old Palpatine's son would have to be, and how old
fucker.
Yeah, it's like how old was Palpatine in the original trilogy? How old would his son have to? How old would he have? How old would he had to have been when he had his kid, son or daughter?
Where it goes.
How old would they had to have been when they had Rey? And look at how old Rey is. And it's like you just said, this motherfucker, this old guy just slamming at like 100 years old.
He's so fucking old.
Knowing Star Wars, he's probably like 1,000 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows?
Just slaying at a century. So it's not so much that Palpatine couldn't have a kid. It's like when would he have had that kid? And
just have it planned that that's what it's supposed to be instead of just kind of like, well, yeah, sure, we'll just
you can tell it just wasn't planned that any of this.
And that's what's upsetting.
I feel like saying that she was related to Palpatine was like the lowest possible thing they could have done.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, the weirdest thing too. Like there's, I just repeated.
No, you're good. Like because it's.
No, you're good because it. What.
You know.
You know.
You know.
But it was.
Like it would be cool to be Skywalker, or a Solo,
I don't think. I think it would have been cheesy as hell and kind of pandering, but it would have been better than Palpatine. And that's how I feel.
Right,
about
that's fine. But yeah, Palpatine is just kind of like a weird, like what?
it.
I
But
guess they were trying to do the bad good. Even if you have a last name that's associated with bad, you don't have to be.
it didn't really work.
Well, I know that.
Well, I know you know. But
Everything about it was just. Well, if you're gonna go with that, then make it about this. But they're like, well, I like that, and I like this, and I like that. I like that over there. Let's put together.
What was Rey's whole thing? She was scared of becoming like Palpatine, and she had like her little vision where she fought herself, and it's like just don't be like him. Luke was Vader's son, but he didn't become Vader.
Right.
Through and through, he was like, "No, I'm not going to be like you." He didn't join the dark side because because he was Skywalker, like Vader was his dad.
I think it was in the 8th one that they showed him he wanted to kill Ben.
Luke wouldn't want to do that though.
Well,
if you go by Luke's character, it doesn't make any sense.
They had him. He was standing because he felt darkness in him.
But Luke wouldn't do.
And so then he. Well, I know, but in the movie, they're showing him shoot the lightsaber up like he was going to kill him, but he just kind of looks at it, and I guess he's like, "What am I doing?" And then Ben wakes up, and then that's where they kind of part ways. So in the movie, he gave up on him. That's why he went to the dark side. He tries to tell Rey that. Meanwhile, they said that they all knew she was a Palpatine.
Yeah.
Just we're gonna we screwed up with our own son, and our own blood. We don't even know you. But we're gonna give you a chance.
Yeah,
even though you have your last name's Palpatine, he's your grandfather, and he's the worst thing in the world.
Like when you not going by like Star Wars logic, but just Luke as a character, like how he was always presented before Last Jedi. I just don't see him giving up on Ben. He would have just stuck with him because
he would have followed it.
Because I'm pretty sure Well, no, I don't think they ever established that there was any darkness in Luke. Well, I think it's implied there's dark. I think it's implied that there's dark side in like everybody or something.
Right.
And if that's the case, then like,
then she's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Basically, it's just basically
her arc should have been, or what they're making it at the beginning. Who is she?
Yeah.
And then it turns into. Oh, okay. Maybe it's. Maybe they might have. Because I was gonna say her arc should have who she is.
First off, they need to rewrite her character into someone who we can give a shit about, and then give her an arc.
But the arc was, who am I? And then I guess finding out that she might be bad, then try not to be. I'm a Palpatine. I guess I'm gonna be.
It's they gave her like an arc within an arc, and it didn't really work. It was like her arc was, who am I? Like you just said, and then like instead of her arc ending like going down and being like, well, I'm this.
Right.
It was like, who am I? I'm Palpatine. Am I bad? No, I'm not. I'm Skywalker. So it was like she had an arc that went up, and there was an arc inside. So it looked like her arc looked like a cock and balls.
Right.
And well,
thanks,
like
Disney.
the shape I did there.
No, I know.
Yes. But have you seen that?
I see it.
Have you seen that picture of like there's something that was sent up to the moon or in space? There was some. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. What? No, they castrated a man and sent it into space. The first dick in space. Spaceballs.
They already got it.
This shit just writes itself after a while.
That's true. You just gotta talk long enough.
That movie is just based on that man's sperm.
Jesus. Float it out there somewhere.
With how fucking insane that movie is, I mean, I would believe that. Let me see. There's something like. I don't know what to look for. I can't remember what it was called, but there was something that was sent up into space, I believe, on the moon. It was like something like, and people were asked to sign it. Like some famous people, some well-known people. Andy Warhol was one of them, right?
Ooh.
Now his symbol, I don't know if I can find the signature.
Like his signature, or
it was like a stylized signature. Okay. So it was done in such a way that it looked kind of like an A within a W, sort of like it was a W. I think it was done either like this or like this, but I think it would have been like this. It was done like that, or you get the point. It was done in such a way that it was like an A with inside of a W, and it looked pretty cool, but it looked a bit like a dick and balls.
Let me see if I can find it.
It looked a little bit like a dick and balls. So, like I would try to look it up, but I wasn't sure what to look for. See Andy Warhol, maybe moon print, I think. Moon sign, moon print. Yeah. Moon print. And, okay, I found it.
Nice.
The Moon Museum.
Okay.
So, is a small ceramic wafer, 3/4 of an inch by 1/2 inch in size, containing artworks by 6 prominent artists from the late 1960s. The artists with works in the museum are Robert. Okay, so
Did that one with like little mouse?
this wafer was This wafer was supposedly covertly attached to the leg of the lunar module Intrepid, and subsequently left on the moon during Apollo 12. Moon Museum is considered the first space art project. While it is impossible to tell if Moon Museum is actually on the moon without sending another mission to look, technicians have admitted to placing personal effects onto the Apollo landers, hidden in the layers of gold blankets and rent. Okay, you see. Yeah, and let me show you what Andy Warhol's looked like.
That's what I saw.
It's that one there, top left
How
corner.
is that
Well, it looks
not? Like, why would you make that your signature?
Yeah, I could see how it's like a W and an A, but
Right.
it's clearly a dick and balls, because he even has like the urethra there.
Yeah.
When we edit this, we need to put up the picture so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's way
So
too.
so people can see the wiener, Andy Wiener, if you will.
How is that like a W without, like, you know what I mean? Like how?
I can see it being a W with an A inside of it, but you could say it's that, but it's definitely he was drawing a penis. That's what he was doing. There's no way that wasn't intended to be a
that
penis.
isn't part of an A, as you clearly stated earlier.
What I remembered was something that looked about like that, yeah. But as I was visualizing it and thinking about it, I was like, no, there's no way he accidentally made a signature look like that.
No.
He was like, yeah, this is my signature, but it's really a penis.
But it's between my legs. Okay, Andy. Okay, Andy.
I got a picture of it. You want to see?
Well, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it goes straight.
Yeah, it goes straight. John Patana.
What were we talking about that got us onto dick and balls? What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Oh, the arc.
Oh,
Ray's
yeah.
arc. The shape of it made me think of
Yeah.
that. Sorry. So yeah, how her arc was
Her
like
arc and
this.
arc and
Her
another
her arc was like this, and then instead of her arc ending naturally, it went up into another arc, and then it went back to her initial
original
arc,
arc.
and it went back
Yeah.
down. And that just didn't. It doesn't work because it's like this whole other problem for her.
Mm-hmm.
But her arc's not. They created a new arc for her, even though her
Midway.
first one wasn't finished. Yeah.
I
They were
forgot
like,
about
well,
the other
let's forget about what she's going through right now and just make a whole new thing for her character. So now we know who she is. Uneventfully, we know who she is.
one. Mhm.
And now she's worried about being that person. It's like, should have done this in the beginning.
Right.
It should have been this. It would have been more. Again,
What if she would have known, but then kept it a secret that she knew who
Yeah.
she was, and then
I can see
that would have even worked better. I think.
I can see her having, I guess, some fear or being uncomfortable with her being like Palpatine or what the hell ever, because she's like, I don't want to have his name, and I don't want to be like him. But she could have been like, well, I just won't be like him. She would be like, not how she was in this movie, where she's like, oh my god, I'm so afraid of becoming like him. I'm gonna be like him. Just don't be like him.
Just don't be.
Just be better. Just be
Yeah.
part of the light
Too
side.
hard. Too hard.
You've been doing a pretty good job so far. How come you're worried about it suddenly? Because like the whole time she was yeah, the whole time she was good. She was a good person. She was light side. She was always doing the right thing.
I guess it arguably
she was
Kylo
Mrs. Right.
Ren,
Yeah, and then
who again, like, he's the reason why she would be questionably to the bad side, and he was the one.
but
like,
she always said no.
Well, yeah, but she was kind of like, we're kind of doing this dance thing.
Yeah.
So you're thinking with your pants, huh?
Yeah.
Huh, you big girl now with your big girl pants?
I got my big boy pants on.
Thinking about some boy?
Anything.
Turn to the
Anything.
dark side.
And I still think Kylo
Hey
Ren
girl,
should.
wanna come to the dark side?
If they were gonna do what they did with Kylo Ren, they should have kept Snoke around instead of just
That would've been
introducing
nice.
Palpatine.
I was
'Cause, like,
ready for him to be the new bad guy and to be like, oh, he's just fake puppet, whatever.
I figured they kill Snoke
Which
and
is
then
like-
Kylo Ren kind of replaces him or whatever.
That's what I thought it would be. He's
Some
gone.
plot twist where in fact Kylo Ren's puppeteering Snoke. Whatever, I don't care. That could have been
weird,
something
huh?
else. Yeah, that would have been weird. Probably would have
That
could have been interesting if they did done something with it. Not saying it would have been good. Could have been interesting. But anyway, so they could have done something with him. But it's like if they were going to do what they ended up doing with him in 9. If they wanted to do that, they should have just not killed Snoke.
Right.
because then it's like then there's no real villain except they've said, well, Palpatine is now. It's like, well, then no, he's not. You just did that because you still wanted Snoke, but you're like, well, we killed him, so we'll have somebody else that is already dead, but we'll just explain.
He'll just come back, explain him back in. Yeah, so basically,
It would have made more sense if they explained Palpatine, not Palpatine. Sorry, it would have made more sense if they wrote Snoke into being alive still, like saying, oh, he got cut in half, right, or something,
Yeah.
or just say, oh, I got robot legs, or something. I don't know, or like
Darth Maul is still alive apparently in
oh, he is.
some of the cartoons because he's got robot legs.
Well, those
kind
don't
of
count, do they?
thing.
I wouldn't count them.
I don't know.
Star Wars to me is movies.
You
like
die,
that.
you die. You're done.
Yeah, that too. But Star Wars to me is movies though. Like I've always
takes
looked
away from everything.
I've always looked at the movies.
I don't know what to look at.
Well, I feel like
it's all so.
Are you talking about Star
confusing
Wars?
and
Are you talking about
beautiful.
Star Wars or women?
Or his
Is that-
robot legs. Don't stare.
He's been staring.
Both.
He's been looking at my tits for a second.
Yeah.
That's what she said, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, he's been
looking at my tits.
for a second. She
I
said,
don't know if she said-
I think.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know
she
what
said
she
for a
said
second. I
exactly,
remember her
but-
because I remember her inflection when she said that.
She was just this.
She was like fixing her
Yeah, he's been
dress.
looking
She was
at my
like,
tits
he's
for-
been looking
I
at my
was
tits
like,
for a second.
Okay.
She didn't care at all.
She didn't care about a lot of things.
No, she didn't.
The law,
Me?
our feelings,
Yeah. Which rightfully she shouldn't.
Our
because
back
I'm fine.
seat.
Our back seat. What does she do?
rubbing her body all over the place.
Don't act coy. As soon as she got out, you jumped back there and sniffed that damn thing.
Smells like nothing.
Yeah, so like Rise of Skywalker was just badly written, and
Technically, I don't want to say it was bad cinematography or anything, but I just think it technically was unimpressive. Nothing that we haven't seen before.
Right.
Like all the effects and everything. Like you said, they're cool, but what else you got?
Exactly.
It's just 7 and 8 again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And it's upsetting because they had such a good story before for them to follow.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we have this laid out.
They could have fixed Rey over time. They could have easily fixed Rey over the course of 2 more movies.
So the first one started good.
Yeah.
Okay. And the number 8 had an idea. And since, I don't know if it's because everyone was like, we don't like it, they backtracked and almost started again. So that's why it feels confusing to be like, well, this doesn't make any sense anymore. And this one doesn't make any sense anymore because it's like you skipped the middle. What happened here?
Well, a part of me, or at least most of me, thinks J.J. Abrams shouldn't have done it.
The last one?
Or any of them, really. Well, I guess, yeah, Force Awakens was good enough. But, I mean, yeah, that was good. He proved himself with that one, but I just don't think he should have done 9 again.
He did come in late.
Yeah.
But they didn't push anything back. They're like, we're still releasing it when we said we're going to release it, so we need you to quick. He had less time to do it, so I'll give him that. But
Yeah, of course.
I also heard I don't know JJ that well and his styles, but someone online that I was listening to said that he does a better job of like action kind of movies or something that's not like character building.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I know he didn't have as much time, but it was very apparent in number 9. So
I know you don't have to keep bringing up that he didn't have that much time. I mean, you can.
Oh, I will.
There are
that's
directors
not the whole excuse.
who have had even less time than he had who have done better.
Oh, I know.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, no one's going to give a shit what I'm saying anyway. So it's like
That's okay.
it's not like
They don't
J.J.
care about
Abrams is going to come after me.
No, he goes. He listens.
He probably would, but
He go. Cage is right.
but yeah, I've seen movies where the directors had like less time than he did, and they still did a lot better. So I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything, or
No,
it's been
it's
proven
an
that it doesn't mean much
it's
if you're
excuse.
good, if you can do it. It's an excuse, but there's no such thing as a good excuse.
I know. Just one. Just an excuse. So
Just one.
that's fine.
Everybody gets one.
Tell him, Peter.
Yeah.
Who's Peter?
Who's Peter?
Keep up.
so
But yeah. So they should have. Well, I think they should have got one person to direct all 3.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's
That would've been
that. I
nice.
feel like that's an issue. Is that I can see why Marvel has the multiple people think because they have so many movies
right,
and a lot of them being made simultaneously. That I can get.
It's multiple kind of stories.
But Star Wars is different. Star Wars is we're doing 3 at a time, and they're coming one after another.
It's on the same characters, and it's not jumping around like a Black Widow movie can maybe feel a little different.
Yeah.
Then
they've all got to be when you.
It's the same thing.
Watch like Thor Ragnarok, and then watch Avengers: Infinity War. They're totally different from one another.
Right, but it works because it's different characters and it's just different enough. But this is about like I don't know how to explain it, but
I get completely what you're saying.
More narrow. There you go. A little more narrow of a story.
Yeah.
So
it's just more consistent. It's one long story. It's not a bunch of stories coming together into one or whatever. Right. More character development on the side. It's just one 3-film story. It's like one big 3-act story. Really, 7 is this first act, 8's the second act, and 9's the third act. But I mean, you couldn't really tell because the acts are so different from one another, and everyone behaves so differently.
Right.
But
or the same, like you pointed out, they all were like the same character. Did anyone have an arc?
No, not really.
Except for Kylo getting his ass kicked, and maybe it's not.
Yeah, Kylo's arguably the best character in this trilogy, and he still doesn't get, and he still has plenty of problems, but he's just the best one.
The recognition
because he feels like a fucking character. He feels like he actually goes through.
He got his ass kicked.
It feels like he goes through some bit of growth. Twice. He got his ass kicked by somebody who he shouldn't have got his ass kicked by.
Join the club, buddy.
But he's the only one who has like any
growth,
modicum of growth. Yeah, like anything resembling a character or an arc, like he said. Everyone else is kind of like Poe immediately is comic relief. Okay, fine, whatever. But then Finn, anything about him that was interesting or like promising just died immediately as soon as 8 came around.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, you're just gonna be wacky with Poe.
They definitely took him down.
And you're gonna have a forced romance with this character.
Sort of. Or oh god. So he was into Rey.
Yeah, I know.
But he
was clearly into Rey.
Into
Rose, is that her name?
I think it's Rose.
Yeah.
But then they're friends.
I don't know. She was barely in 9.
Are they friends? Well, she should have been dead, right? Wasn't she dead?
I hear pray tell. Like I do remember seeing that shot where like they're parallel to one another, and then suddenly she's like this.
Yeah. Well, it's like she crashes. Then she does that like you don't do something and say something and then like that.
Who does that? It's like I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah.
Like what?
I'm just sleeping.
Don't die. I'm not. I'm just resting my eyes.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Don't worry, I'll be back in the 9th one.
I've had a long day.
So it's just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? What do these people feel?
And then she was like not at all in the 9th one. Which, like you said, she shouldn't have been anyway. She should have been dead like Leia. There was some article headline I saw on Google News. Again, with Google News. It wasn't...
Google. It's our sponsor, Google News.
Well, no, they're the people who own the platform we're on. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, it was like what the hell is the name of the girl who plays Rose? It's like something trans. Her last name's Trans, like Trans. So it's like such and such trans talks about how it was intense or difficult to film alongside Carrie, and then like it stopped because it cut off, and you click on it, you can see the whole thing.
Right.
And my thought was just like she talks about how difficult it is to film next to Carrie Fisher's corpse, because or like how difficult it is to film alongside Carrie Fisher because she's dead.
Right.
It's
because you have to pretend. Looking at someone else, like you're not her.
Everybody had to pretend like it was just some person in like some sort of chroma keying stuff.
I think you were right when she passed away in the shooting, because she had some speaking lines in the beginning,
and
right?
I'm pretty sure.
And then she just
I'm pretty sure towards the beginning.
Anything else.
I'm pretty sure at some point in The Last Jedi, she looks real too, right? Like an actual person in the room with them.
Well, yeah, but in Rise of Skywalker, I think she says a few lines in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're talking about her lines here in this movie. I thought you were talking about Last Jedi.
No, sorry, last movie. She says a couple things.
And then she doesn't speak. Yeah. She had very little to do in this film, and it's because she was dead. And it's like, well, just don't have her in this movie. Just have her be dead. Shouldn't she have died? She should have died in 8 anyway, because she got thrown into space. But then she forced her way back in. She literally forced her way back into the ship. And it's like, no, Leia didn't. She, like you said, she had a bit of the Force, but she never really did anything with it. She wasn't about that.
Again, we're not saying she can't have it. It just wasn't in the story.
She can't. It's not that. Yeah, it's not that she can't have it. She had it. It was shown in the original trilogy. She had it, but she was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I don't do the
She was
Force."
more like a receiver than actual.
She
and now
she
she's
could
training
she could communicate
Right.
basically, like when
at least feel it. I don't
when
know.
Han Solo died in the 7th one and she felt it.
Right.
Like that was fine with that. Yeah, cool. I get that.
worked.
But then Jake, you owe me a soda.
I don't drink soda.
Neither do I. Jokes on both of us.
My God.
Jokes on Carrie Fisher. Was that too soon?
Yes.
Anyway, so
Yeah, it just wasn't.
it's like
written
that,
in
it's
there.
Yeah, like you said. Suddenly she's trained. Like what? No,
That
she's
was
not.
weird. I
Why?
don't know if maybe.
Why do we need the other lightsaber anyway? It's just so Kylo can have a lightsaber. Why does Kylo?
So that,
why?
and so
Why?
she can- so
Why?
you know how Mace Windu was holding his lightsaber against Palpatine.
I need him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it with one. She needed two this time.
Yeah.
I thought she was more powerful than Mace Windu, as you would think she would be, since she's such a quick learner. She's way too old. Remember, okay, like you said, if they're not caring about the beginning, then it doesn't matter about now. But like when they're like, he's 9 years old, Anakin, he's too old to train.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This woman's like 17.
Yeah. Probably older than that.
Or
It's probably
something?
I'd say more like maybe like 20 or
Okay.
is what I would have
And
guessed.
she's even quicker than Anakin.
Yeah.
The chosen one. The chosen one.
Yeah, Vader is
You're the chosen
Vader
one,
/
Harry.
Anakin is yeah. Akio Ba. Ron, stop. You're the chosen one, Harry. I don't know if I can do it, Ron. I'm so nervous. I don't know if I can get it up. Wingardium Leviosa. Ron, what are you doing? Oh.
It's Leviosa.
Harry, don't stop. We're doing Accio now, Neville. But still, great job. 10 points to Gryffindor. Don't forget to swish and flick the shit out of your wand.
Whatever he sings at the end.
Mr. Weasley, it's Leviosa. Ron,
That's all
stop.
it's gonna be. That whole,
Stop it, Ron.
Stop it, Ron. But don't stop.
Harry, don't stop. I'm so nervous. That's right. This is gonna be the rest.
I'm so nervous.
That's right. For the next 40 minutes, we're just gonna be quoting Woni's
The
cartoons.
same one though. Just the same one over and over.
Oni cartoons. Yeah. I don't know, Shayton. My asshole feels like it's on fire.
I don't know, Shayton.
Shayton? I don't know, Shayton.
How old is he? He's like, well, he's doing algebra.
Fucking 4. It's the vibe I got for a while.
You can
And then
put
he's
your
doing
socks
algebra.
on your hands. Oh, fuck you. Oh, sorry, Satan.
Oh, geez, Shayton. You
Put some
spelled
sugar
this
on
through
these
the window.
pancakes.
Shut the fuck up, Leo.
Shut the fuck up, you.
How fucking old is Satan supposed to be? He talks in like the same voice as Leo. He sounds just like it. Well, shut the fuck up, Leo.
Well, he
I
says
just
Leo, then
figured
he'll go
Satan
back
was
to,
retarded.
he'll say, little boy.
Yeah, go boy.
I don't know, little boy.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me Satan's going to do this algebra.
Oh, Leo, everybody needs an education.
And everyone knows Satan's got a little cushion for the pushing.
Leo, Satan's got enough cushion for the pushing already.
There you go. That's what it was.
Yeah, I know.
Already. Satan's thick.
How much for your sugar? How much you got?
How much you got?
Tuppence. And what seems to be some loose pubic hair. Even trade, baby.
Choppins? What was it?
What was it?
I don't know. What was the first thing he had?
He's tuppence. It's like a penny.
Okay.
Tuppence. And what seems to be a piece of loose pubic hair. Even trade, baby.
Like he's got the mustache.
Yeah. Is that how much cocaine's running for on the streets? I should get me some of that.
We could get a lot for that. I'll tell you that right now.
Over in Compton.
Give me a second.
Sell it back to Mexico.
Bags, baby. Oh my
Bags, baby. I got plenty of hair to go around. Who says it has to be from our pubes? Taylor, you need to shave,
There
don't
you
you?
go. Shave. We'll get Ziploc bags.
I hate the fuzz on my ass.
Yeah. No better time to shave than now.
If you hate the fuzz on your ass, then why don't you just shave it off?
Why don't you shave it?
Do you remember? Do you know what that's from?
No.
That '70s show.
Is it Fez?
It's one of the first. It's one of the episodes of the first season. The Nixon's coming to town, right?
Oh God.
And they want to. Eric, Hyde, Kelso, and Fez are all gonna go to the little president's speech in trench coats and like throw off their trench coats with be naked. And they're each gonna be wearing like a fucking masks. Or no, it wasn't Nixon. It wasn't Nixon. It was somebody else, or maybe it was Nixon, or maybe it was supposed to be.
It's in the 70s, right? It would be.
Yeah. So. But the thing is, I don't think it was Nixon because one of the like Eric Foreman's mask was Nixon. So unless it was supposed to be Nixon on Nixon action,
Right. Could be.
could be.
I can't remember.
I think it was supposed to be more like mid to late '70s. I think is when it's supposed to take place, wasn't it?
That's what I thought.
Or maybe it was like no, the show went on for a while, so it's probably like the entire '70s. Oh fuck it. Well,
Anyway.
yeah, then it would have had to been Nixon at some point.
Okay. Maybe it was.
It doesn't matter. It was the president was coming to town,
Right.
and one of them, I think Hyde suggested writing on their asses, "I hate the fuzz on my ass," and then Fez was like, "If you hate the fuzz on your ass, then why don't you just shave it off?"
Oh, Fez.
I love how they never said where Fez was from. That was great. That was a great gag. In my country.
Yeah.
And in that same episode, whenever they were like, we have these masks. I guess like we have 2 Snoopies and a chart. It was like we have like 2 Snoopies and a something.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah, so it's like not I don't think it was Charlie Brown, but at least one of them was Snoopy.
Okay.
And they were saying like they had 4 masks, right? One for each of them, and like we have these masks, and then we have one Nixon, and they all kind of just stand there, and then Fez, Kelso, and Hyde all go, "Not it." Before and Eric's like, "What the Fez? How do you know how to do that?" And Fez goes, "My country invented, not it." Or no, sorry, country. My country invented, not it.
That's funny.
I think that guy's like Hispanic, the guy who played him.
I think so.
But
He was married to Demi Lovato, I think, for a little bit.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
How fucking old is he? Because I'm sure at one point Demi Lovato was like 17, and then, of course I'm sure at one point everyone was 17. But
Yes, they were.
I figured she'd be probably a little bit younger than him. Bit.
I think she's my age.
Is she your age? I don't give a fuck how old she is.
We do.
Anyway, so
Today's
Sure,
sponsor is
sure.
Demi Lovato.
today's sponsor is Demi Lovato and the guy who played Fez. I don't remember his fucking name. He played Fez and Handy Manny. I know that.
Get that. Damn it. Andy.
There's a penis on my screen. But another thing I always loved about Fez, they never said where his country was, or where he was from. There was some episode, I think it was the episode where they go to a drive-in to see a horror movie, and Kelso keeps saying, "Dude, horror movies turn chicks on even more than porno," or something like that. And then, he keeps talking about that, and then Red, Kirkwood Smith, Red Foreman, he's at the top of the stairs, and he goes, "Eric, is that kid from Not America down here?" He's like, his foster parents called. They want him to, and he kind of like bends down the stairs, looks at Fez, and says, "Go home."
Go home.
And then before he goes back up, he goes, "Kelso, stop saying porno." And then he goes back upstairs, and then Kelso says, "It wasn't me, it was Fez." He like laughs or something, and Fez, before he leaves, goes, "You are a bitch." You are a bitch.
It wasn't me. It was Fez.
Yeah. It's like Ashton Kutcher's biggest role was that show.
Yeah, he had a lot of movies, but they weren't that good.
It's probably the only
Steve Jobs.
Jobs. Yeah, I heard
Jobs.
it wasn't very good. I know Steve Wozniak didn't like it.
Ooh.
You know who Steve Wozniak is? Yeah. Yeah. You have a Mac.
Did he like the other one? Yeah, I did. Did he like the other one with Fassbender?
Justin Long. Oh yeah, there was one with Fassbender. I don't know. I just saw when Jobs came out. I saw that Steve Wozniak didn't like it. Or at least he didn't like the way Steve was portrayed. Steve Jobs, that is. The Wizard of Woz. You don't know what that's from, do you?
I don't, but it's funny.
Okay.
Explain.
The Wizard of Woz. If anyone listening to this knows what that's from, leave it in the comments, and Taylor will see.
Oh, man, I gotta wait.
That was a show that ran for like 2 seasons. It was actually pretty good. It was definitely an original show. I'll tell you about it after we're done.
Sounds good.
Whenever we stop recording, I'll tell you about it. But
Okay, real quickly, she's 27, and where the hell is he?
But Ashton Kutcher was Steve Jobs. I heard Jobs wasn't very good, or at least it wasn't amazing. I don't think he's really been in anything good, other than like that '70s show. And that '70s show,
Punked,
was only good. That '70s show was only good for a while. But as every show, that's nothing against the show. Like the show is genuinely bad. It's just like even Frasier towards the end, I think around season 7, starts to get a bit rocky. Frasier definitely, once Daphne and Niles finally get together, that's a problem.
Right.
But I mean, I understand what after a while it's like. Well, I guess we got to get them together. But it's like it kills the whole will they won't they vibe.
Right.
And there were a lot of great moments in entire episodes that came from Niles being in love with Daphne and her not knowing, and him like being afraid of telling her. So it
kills them.
It kills that. Like none of that's gonna happen again once they're together.
Right.
Because then they both know, and they get like fucking married. I think even if I remember right. Yeah. They start dating and they get married, and it's like well it's done then. And it's cool that they got together and they both love each other so much, but it's not as entertaining to watch as it was watching Niles for like a whole 8 seasons pursue Daphne, or like all these fun little moments where he would be like a horny little pervert about Daphne, and then Frasier would always have to be like Niles, like he's a dog, and then Niles would just like come right back.
So they were married 2010 to 2016.
Okay, but yeah, like all I just don't.
She was 18.
But all shows just naturally kind of taper off like that after a while because eventually you get to because Frasier was fucking dynamite when it first started.
Dynamite.
It was phenomenal, and then just after a while, it's like well, it's losing its touch,
Right. Yeah,
it ran for 11 years, a good 11 years, and it wasn't canceled. It actually ended.
Well, that's always nice too.
Yeah, like
Seinfeld was 9 years. How was that?
I think that's right. It's pretty close. It was around. It's just it and Frasier. Like we're both pretty. It went on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Friends.
They also called it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Instead of being canceled.
Yeah, it's not. Or even if they are canceled, if they just get like a few episodes to finally end it. I mean, like Seinfeld and Frasier, they both get to actually end.
Right.
I can't remember if Mork and Mindy actually ended, but I know they went on for 4 seasons and it was like canceled because people aren't enjoying it as much anymore. And it's like, well, it's your fault, ABC.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because that first season was phenomenal and people loved it, and then you stepped in and the network stepped in and the ratings started to go down. So I mean, I don't know. It's coincidence, right?
Yeah. Oh, the next season it just kept going down.
You have everything that made the first season great, but still the views are going down. I wonder what happened.
It's you.
It couldn't have been you sticking your hand in the pot.
Yeah. No.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's preposterous.
Fuck.
We about done?
Yeah, are we? What time is it?
I think so.
5:20. Yeah. That's pretty good. I'm done talking about Star Wars. I can lay that to rest. I can rest easy now saying like I feel like at least that was somewhat better. That was more complete, if not. I wanted to try to at least talk about it somewhat as a movie and not just a Star Wars thing. So.
I could tell.
You could tell.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were going
Okay.
Right.
So,
but we are good.
yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Let's actually end it at some point.
We're done. Done.
All right. Thank you for listening. And
You hear that?
that's it. Can you hear that? Yeah, that's me. That's me fucking with the equipment.
Yeah. Don't do that.
All right. You can stop recording at some point.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. It's been funny hearing our voices.
We'll keep this in here.